TRIAS is working on its third weekly green candle. Multivac this week probably is going to blast off, and Verasity stuck its landing on its daily 21 EMA. It's probably going to be ready for blast off later this week. Let's dive into the charts for each of these three and see how high they'll each go. All right, TRIAS fans, we're starting off with your coin, and then we'll move to Multivac and then Verasity. However, for everybody tuning in, I promise you, everything I say about one of these coins that's not your favorite one, if you skip them, I promise you what I say about it will apply to your coin. You should watch the whole thing. And to be very frank with you, if you have not watched my Bitcoin video, my analysis video, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the primary indicators for these altcoins performance. So if you haven't watched my Bitcoin analysis, you need, wrong hand, you need to stop what you're doing and click this link right here. Watch that first. It's only 15 minutes long. Go watch that, then come back to here because it's going to apply to this. I totally promise you. And you should watch all three of these because altcoins all move the same one way or another. Just depends on when, right? Okay, so TRIAS has gotten its statistically likely 2 green weekly candles, 1, 2, after a closure above this line. What happens this week? A nice slowdown could happen, or continuation could happen to the upside. There might be a little bit of trouble above. So I'm on the weekly chart. So if you're a TRIAS fan, what you need to do is don't worry about all-time high. Worry about the weekly candle closure, which I don't even have this thing aligned very well. So you sometimes need to stretch your chart high up and in the up and down fashion to really get this about right. And you need to make a horizontal on those weekly candle closures. Don't worry about wicks. I promise you, this is the line that is most likely to matter by a mile. All right. Is it the line that'll get things perfectly? I mean, well, this last one worked out perfectly, right? Like it's probably going to work out just the same. So you need to draw that line, the exact target on that. I mean, hell, if you don't know how to, actually, it is close to all-time highs. It's about $30.73. So you need to put a horizontal or a friggin' horizontal line on your chart, TRIAS people. $30.73. Now, does TRIAS structurally on the weekly need to come down and test its weekly 10? No. It just based off of it for like 14 weeks. It honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it only touched it once the rest of this bull run. Okay. Now, when it touches it, could it dip way down below and also touch the weekly 21 whenever that happens after it hits like $150? Yeah, potentially, but it might not touch it more than once or at all the rest of this bull run. And if you remember, Bitcoin went from 10K all the way to 60K, riding its 10, only touching it a few times, never touched its weekly 21. So TRIAS can get some nasty work done, right? But typically altcoins move a little bit faster. So the next time this happens, it could be after a big horizontal, TRIAS could hit $80 before it then slows down to hit its weekly 10. It's a question of when that will happen, right? Will it happen this soon in its move up? I would suspect not. I would suspect that TRIAS is going to ride a different type of EMA until it doesn't. I know that sounds stupid, but all you need to do, and I think what I did in my last video, did I say like the 12-hour 21 EMA? Something like that. Or was it the 8-hour? Right now, it looks like it's writing the 8-hour or the 12. Nope, it looks like it's writing the 8-hour 21. So really what you can do is use the 8-hour chart. And honestly, in the last video, I can't remember if I used the 12-hour, but or not. But anyway, so if you have the free version of TradingView, TRIAS fans, and again, if you're not a fan of TRIAS and you're for Verasity only, you could do the same thing on your chart, right? These tricks that I'm doing on not your favorite coin, I promise you will apply. But anyway, what you can do is whenever you get multiple closures below the 8-hour 21 EMA, that increases the likelihood that a reset down to the weekly 10 needs to happen. Does it guarantee it'll happen? No, but a lot of times you'll get a closure, maybe, and then it'll come right back above, consolidate on a line that it's been riding, similar to how it happened here. One closure below, let's zoom way in there. So a chance of a weekly slow, so see how this one closed and the next one popped above? All right, so the chance of a weekly slowdown is not going to be likely at all until Trias can't get back above its 8-hour 21 EMA. And if you're using the free version, sorry, I got off track. If you're using the free version, just go to the 4-hour chart. And if you don't know how to set up a chart, again, for newer folks, damn it, wrong hand again. That's my left hand. Darn it. I'm so new at YouTube. It's so difficult. Look, stop what you're doing. If you don't know how to set up a chart, you're new to crypto. You need to know how to set up a chart. You need to stop. So if you don't know how to set a chart and you're clicking around with your money, you need to stop. So you need to click this link that's popping up, should be popping up right now. Go to there and then come back to this video later. All right. Do your homework. Don't screw yourself. All right. But you go to your EMAs on the 4-hour chart and just put 42, and that will be the 8-hour 21. Does that make sense? But on the 4-hour chart, and you'll get the same line. So Trias is not at any risk of needing to check its weekly 10 right now. It's way above that line. And so what's going to be really interesting, so here's how these two coincide. Watch. Remember that line we drew at the beginning? Well, now as it finds that as resistance, this yellow line is going to squeeze it up. And you will be able to tell as it approaches that weekly horizontal, how big the slowdown is going to be based on the candle closures of that line. Does that make sense? It's putting those two ideas together, and you're going to be able to tell how much Trias needs to consolidate and how strong this blast off will be, literally using the first horizontal line we went over and this yellow line we went over, and you're going to see it as it approaches it, and it'll be magical. I promise you. Just watch this stuff happen. It's going to be great. We're going to do live on this channel as it approaches, but I'm trying to teach you all how to do this yourselves, so you don't need me, because I could disappear one day, get stuck in a snowdrift and freeze in my car, and you need to know how to do this stuff yourself, right? Okay, so flip your phones or get flipped off. What does that mean? That means literally flip your phone horizontally and hit the like button. For new viewers, if you like what you're seeing so far, new viewers who didn't, who already do know how to set up the chart and hopefully are still watching, because you didn't go straight to the set up your chart video, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Why do you need to hit the bell? Well, great question. A lot of this is time sensitive. So if I'm going to help walk you through a more profitable crypto journey, you need to hit that bell so I can help you out. All right, let's jump back into it. Okay, so Multivac is Multivac's getting ready to bust out, and it did not. So I'm going to flip to Multivac, the weekly chart. So always start with the weekly in mind, folks. Hey, Tim, could you stop drawing blue lines on your chart and just get to it? All right, I will do that. Okay, so let's go to normal EMAs and take the EMAs off, and here we go. Multivac closed the candle above the consolidation line. It was statistically likely that the next 2 weeks would be green. However, Bitcoin and Ethereum were getting lazy. It pulled them down. That's why I stressed in the beginning of my video, you need to watch my Bitcoin analysis videos first, because it was extremely probable this was going to turn green, stay green, and close green. But Ethereum and Bitcoin are the primary indicator. It's more important than everything in Multivac besides Multivac price action itself. It's more important than stochastics, MACD, Stokes. It doesn't matter. It's Bitcoin and Ethereum price are more important for Multivac, and all your altcoins, doesn't matter what you're holding. More important than all but one thing within your altcoin is the price action itself of that candle. Does that make sense in terms of primary indicators? All right. So kind of proof in the pudding there. And do you remember when I said, if there's no closure above this line and a week screams above, a good 20 bag opportunity is going to be right there? Remember that? Look at that. So had you sold, not even at the top, but somewhere close, like, you saw, okay, it's getting pretty hot. You could have gotten Trias on a 25% discount, 20 to 25 discount. You would have had more crypto using other people's money with just simple 20 bag theory applied to the weekly candle formations. That simple. Trading can be simple. You just follow rules and take the trade. Do they work out 100%? No. But you do it over and over and over and over and over with a statistical edge, right? So it's kind of like somebody betting you, making a bet like, hey, I'm going to roll a die, or like dice, but one is die. I'm going to roll a die 1 through 3. You give me $1, and 4 through 6, I will give you $1.50. Well, it's a 50-50 chance for both of you, but that person's paying you more, right? So yeah, could you lose 4 in a row and you're down $4? Absolutely. But if you play it 10,000 times, that person will run out of money and give you all of his or her money, right? So that's what you do in trading. You take that trade every time. Sometimes they don't win. Sure, you could roll a 4 through 6 on that die 4 times in a row, but I would keep betting that person because it's a 50-50 odds, but the payout's better for me, so my odds are better in terms of winning, right? Okay. So that's why I strongly suggest take that trade. It was so statistically probable, right? And guess what? It played out perfectly. Did the next week close green, even though it was statistically probable? No, that one didn't work out. But had you sold up here, it would have worked out in your favor, right? 2 different statistically probable things kind of coinciding. And the second one that didn't work out actually would have been in your favor. Had you followed the first one, that was statistically probable. Anyway, this looks like it's ready for blast off, folks. This red candle, this closure above, similar to my Bitcoin analysis at the end when I said the daily candle structure, you could even get a red candle close, but as long as it closes above the important line, it's going to be hyper bullish and the next day would fly green. That's exactly what Multivac has done on the weekly scale. Like this is honestly, this is probably going to fly now, assuming Bitcoin gets continuation to the upside. And this is not whale game fakeouts. This is totally, as weird as it sounds, this red candle closure is mega bullish. Mega bullish. So this is going to freaking fly. So really, I mean, what you need to be watching on the chart, it's going to be hard to tell because there was so much consolidation. So once this starts to giddy up and has a few small dips on lower time frames, throughout the week, I will keep you in tune with which EMA I would, and on what time frame I would keep an eye out for to figure out when the move will slow down. But since the move is just starting and everything was smashed together here anyway, you're not going to be able to use that same trick as we did on Trias with the 8-hour 21 EMA or 12-hour 21 EMA or whatever we did there, because the move hasn't started yet. Everything smashed together. You can't quite tell. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So throughout this week, I'll let you know what to be playing on that. So you know what, you can flip your phone open however many times you stare at Multivac price, what to be looking at. All right, so Verasity. Veracity's had a little bit more trouble here. But as I said, if Bitcoin doesn't go down, what did I say in my last video? Raise your hands, don't yell. Take your turns. The daily 21. So it looks like it's sticking its landing. However, that doesn't mean it's ready for blast off. And I think I mentioned in there, it needs to do, if it happens, it's going to have to round out. So it'll have to round out. And what does that mean for the daily Stokes? So it means that it'll give the chance for the daily Stokes to curl back up. So these Stokes, rarely do a V, even though that was V shape. It could happen. But if you're not deep into the bearish control zone, the likelihood of a V shape is much lower. So you're likely going to get a more rounded action, kind of like this, some rounded action here. And this might take till later this week. All right. I wouldn't expect Verasity to fly quite yet. Not quite yet based off of this. So if you can see here, let me take off all the EMAs so you can see what I'm saying. So in my last video, I said, if Bitcoin does not fall, Verasity likely will not close candles under the daily 21. Okay. There you go. That yellow line is the daily 21, but I cannot stress enough. It needs a couple more days before it races to the upside. Could you get a move up to here? Like to these candle structures? Sure, you can, but that's not really blasting off. I could see it flirting around with that 10% move in a day. Sure. But I'm talking about, I would not expect any potential for all-time highs until late this week is what I'm saying. Could it begin the move now? Yeah, maybe, but it's not going to start really hustling until that point, right? Later this week. And once you get a daily closure above 8 cents, that's when it'll probably peek its head towards all-time high. So it's probably going to want to, over the next couple of days, peek its head above here, get a closure, and then get a big green candle to rival its previous all-time highs. You're going to need to get above this candle structure here back from the 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th of October. You need the candle to close above all that at 0.08. Let's just call it 081. 0.081. Once a daily closes, not the daily candles above without closing. No. Closes and the next one starts above this level. that's probably when the move will heat up. 0.081 daily closure. I cannot stress that enough. So let's, and also I predicted that this would have 2 green weeks in a row. And just like Multivac, it did not. So this was greatly affected by Bitcoin price action. Let's take a look. So remember this candle closure here? I said the next 2 weeks likely will be green. It only got 1 green week. It was statistically probable this was going to be green, but primary indicators, Bitcoin and Ethereum, did not have continuation to the upside. Bitcoin had scares back down to 60,800 to the bottom of its range. It pulled Verasity back down. Verasity was strong enough to keep its daily 21, but on the weekly scale, it did not. Its most probable situation, assuming Bitcoin did not take any sort of dip, it didn't play out because of Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's why in the beginning of this video, I stressed to everybody, wrong hand, it's my left hand. Yeah, Tim, are you dyslexic? Well, I mean, the camera's backwards on here, so you try doing this shit. All right, but when I pointed to that at the beginning of the video, go watch my Bitcoin video. That's why. Like, Bitcoin and Ethereum can totally undo everything I talk about on these altcoin videos, right? It can it can undo everything. I promise you, it really can. So everybody, flip your phones or get flipped off. Hit like, but what's going to help me even more? Leave me a darn comment, even if it's like a period, but no tampon. Leave me a period, emoji, poop, whatever. LOL, you suck. New viewers, these 2 videos popping up can drastically change the profitability of your altcoin journey. I promise you. And in terms of the altcoin profitability journey that you're going to have, hit the bell. Subscribe, hit the bell, because this stuff is time sensitive, and I'm going to help walk you through not getting destroyed during down moves and whale games. I'm here to help you out. Let me help you out. Help me help you. Let's go make the money. You just got Timified.